Frack on. Welcome to the episode of Frack the Canon. I am joined with the co-hosted with the most, CJ McCree from Milwaukee. What is up, good sir? How you doing, brother?
Howdy do. I am dealing with the most.
I don't know what that means, but I like it. Alrighty, here we go. So what are we talking about again? What are we doing? We're talking about the Marvel 2021 Disney
Yeah,
Day.
so what? They just had Disney Plus Day. Disney Plus Day, which is different from Disney Investor Day, which is still yet to come, but today. And I know at least you and I are some huge Marvel zombies. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But there was a whole lot, like it was like a little bit, but it was also a whole lot of a little bit. As far as news pertains to Marvel stuff.
It was all through Twitter too. So I'm like, wait, what? What the frick is this bull plop?
So as far as being excited for the different plops that came out, for you, out of all these announcements, or maybe something that we knew about already, what tickled your fancy the most?
There were two that tickled my fancy the most. Two. X-Men 97, because I'm an X-Men fan, first and foremost. Like that's what got me into comics. That is, you know me, I'm an X-Men whore. Like
okay. Before you even go on to the second one, then, because this is probably the thing that got me the most excited. So let's stop here. Okay. Freaking X-Men 97, right? Like almost like that. As soon as I read that before looking into it, because I had to look into it, because it just gave me the title when I'm watching that little trailer thing. But before I even looked into it, like it gave me what's the title of the Adam West Batman comic follow-up?
Batman 66.
66. It gave me that vibes
right.
With the title, right? And I'm just like, oh crap, like is this that but with X-Men, you know what I mean? And it turns out it pretty much is. I mean, you know, from what I read, they're not coming out and saying it's a direct follow-up. They're just saying like it's sort of in the spirit of a direct follow-up. Many cast members are returning, they say, and like even some cast members are returning to do different voices even. So it seems like it's done in the spirit of a follow-up, but they're not coming out and saying like, no, this is like the direct continuation of. I think it's just like it's kind of like spiritually supposed to be though.
Which to me is always confusing. It's a spiritual sequel. I don't know what that means. It's a sequel. It was not a sequel. Yes or no? I mean, why would you call it X-Men 97? Right? Because that's when they ended. Exactly. So I'm like, why call it that? Or call it a spiritual sequel? But yeah, I'm excited for that one. I'm like, what we're talking about too, like you and I offline. Well, like, why didn't they do a Spider-Man 94?
Exactly. That's so I was thinking like this, but I hope that could ignite something like that. You know what I mean? Or even here's the thing, I would even accept a Spectacular Spider-Man 2006 or something. You know what I mean? Like something to that effect where they continue that one instead. You know what I mean?
It would be 2010, 2011. Because that's what I got my baby. That's what I got Darth Pandora into. Yeah. Spider-Man cartoon.
Because that one was awesome. But no, I would totally accept a like the OG Spider-Man cartoon. Like a return to it and / like proper ending, because that actual freaking last episode was a cliffhanger.
Yeah, because we're like that's the one I grew up watching in Mexico. That's the Spider-Man I watched when I would go to Mexico. For some reason, every time I was there, they had it. And it was always the same. Every time I was coming in, it was always the same last 5 episodes or leaving. It was the original Spider-Verse. Because I've seen all of that in Spanish, but I'm like, okay, I never saw the full. Like, I've never seen it from beginning to end completely. So I'm like, finish that story, fools.
Finish it.
Finish it. Finish it.
Okay, so what is the second thing that
She-Hulk.
You were in? She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
I'm Jennifer Walters. I'm a normal lawyer. Well, not that normal.
These transformations are triggered by anger and fear.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Because you know I like muscular women. I'll say it right now. Bracket. I like green muscular women. I am like Kirk. I like my Orion slave girls. I don't know why I said that. I have no idea why I said that. But I love that character. Like physical, I think She-Hulk is an amazing character. I think that I love the fact that she can be in Hulk form. She's perpetually in smart Hulk form, right? Like she rarely ever loses it, and if she does lose it, it's not because of her. It's it's an exterior force that forces her to become like She-Hulk.
And now remember, but MCU is always like 70% comic, 30% like updated version of what that can mean.
So to put it in comic book parlance, I would agree with you. Like it's 70% 616, 30% Ultimate Marvel. But I and we've talked about this offline. I agree. Yeah, that's what it is.
So
I think they're gonna do. Yeah,
I would say like, and a lot of times they, not only do they pull from Marvel, but they also pull from like modern versions of that character as well. Like so some of the later advancements that they got in their like later years, sort of like they kind of pull some of that stuff, like sort of it happens earlier in their world than it would in the comic world, sort of,
right.
So as you're kind of explaining how She-Hulk works, I would just say, well, do caution, they haven't explained everything to us about how She-Hulk works, and sometimes they take those liberties, you know what I mean, in the comics, you know what I mean, like this, she very well could be anger triggered too, you know what I mean, in this, or something to that effect.
I don't think so, because we saw her. There was a one scene, I think you'll find it, but there's one scene where like you see her just kind of like in her regular, like the classic She-Hulk we see in the comics and the Avengers. And there's one scene where like you see this lady coming, you see this dress like elegant, like with dresses filled with sequins, and then a green leg pops out, and then she gets up, and you see green nails. I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing that now.
So you do see that, but then also there's that quick moment with Bruce talking to her though, and explaining how the transformation might work with her too.
These transformations are triggered by anger and fear.
Where he uses those phrases where he's like, the transformation can be triggered by anger or fear or this, and they stop there before the dialogue goes any further.
This is true.
And I was also reading a Savage She-Hulk, I want to say, or maybe it wasn't Savage She-Hulk, but it a She-Hulk where she was starting to lose control of the rage monster within as well, and that was a recent story arc as well.
Like the only time I've ever seen her lose her stuff was in Avengers Assembled. That's and that was because again Scarlet Witch made her go crazy, and she grabbed Vision and just like ripped him in half like that. That's the only time. And then she was like, and actually no, I think I saw her fight Red She-Hulk. Yeah, I think I did. So I'm like, that's when they both went insane in the membrane. I don't know why I just referenced Hill.
Sure. So yeah, like and speaking of insane, let's use that as a perfect segue to over into Moon Knight.
Dude, what do you know about Moon Knight? I know nothing about that character. I know very little about that character. I know he has different alter egos, 3 different alter egos, and they're supposed to be kind of like, one of them is supposed to be like Bruce Wayne-esque, but they're all like about to become Moon Knight. Like Moon Knight is the one true character out of all of them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I know very little about Moon Knight as well. I have read some. My brother was into Moon Knight comics for a bit, so I read some of the stuff that he had, and it was one of the later series, and it was pretty ultra violent, as far as I remember. But the more I've been finding out about Moon Knight is that, like some characters, they're different kind of iterations of him depending on the writer and the era. I don't know. He was definitely a vigilante, and he had multiple personalities, and like it was almost something akin to like a serial killer or something, but just with a superhero skew,
Right. Yep.
But what I saw in the trailer, or at least the hint of it, and I said this when we were talking offline, it reminded me of like Sam Raimi's Green Goblin character if he was the main character of that movie, like what the movie would kind of be about, you know what I mean? Like if this was the hero story, like this is
be careful what you say next. because Defoe is my Green Goblin. Like Defoe is God. How dare you compare William Defoe's Green Goblin to this fool? So we're having some technical issues. Freaking Zoom gods, please. We're trying to do a podcast here. We're trying to go on a YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. Yeah, Moon Knight, dude, again, like I just thought he was like, where were you? Oh yeah, you said he reminded you of William Defoe's Green Goblin, and I said, be careful what you say about Defoe's Green Goblin. You know how I feel about Defoe's Green Goblin.
That's true. But when I say that, I really just mean like the character. Just the story seems like this is a superhero story. If it was from this character's sort of point of POV, you know what I mean, instead of Spider-Man's. And in that respect, it looks really interesting. But I got to see more because they really pulled what they were going to show. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's just really little bit, just enough to get like a tiny taste of it. So, I think it looks interesting, and Oscar Isaac is a pretty good actor.
Usually. No, I mean, out of all of them, that's the one that excited me the most. Those two, and I mean, if I forgot about Moon Knight, I'm like, Moon Knight's kind of cool. I like that actor. I mean, I want what a little I've seen of Moon Knight was in Ultimate Universe, and he was just like, because it was the ultimate. It felt like they were going the extreme, like they were going super extreme with everything. Because it was like we were coming off the '90s. We were still high off the '90s nostalgia and stuff. So I'm like, I don't know if I like this character. But we'll see. I've never read him in 616 proper, I think. No. But I'm excited to see what they're gonna bring to this.
The one that I was underwhelmed a bit with because I've been waiting to see something on was Miss Marvel.
Kamala, let's talk about you.
It's not really the brown girls from Jersey City who save the world.
Maybe now they do.
I got this, right?
Totally.
Yeah, agreed.
And I don't know if it's just that they just didn't want to spoil a lot, or it just didn't look super interesting to me in any way. And I was kind of hoping that it would. Not that, and I don't really follow Miss Marvel comic wise. It's just a character that I've kind of more recently been who's kind of like been shoved into my circles from different avenues. You know what I mean? I've played video games and stuff with her in it, and she's kind of a cool character in those. And her power set is kind of cool to me, like kind of cool, not amazing, not blow me away, but it's just kind of cool because it's like Mr. Fantastic's powers, but like almost just applied in a different way, and I like that. I like the individuality in a power that should be the same as somebody else's, kind of a thing.
Right. I mean, I just find I don't know. I know people love Miss Marvel, the new Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. I don't get it personally. I just like, I'm like, that's not Miss Marvel. That's not Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is Carol Danvers. She took Captain Marvel now, but whatever. But to me, it's semantics, right? But I'm like, and I've seen her to another stuff. I've read another stuff like you said, she's been kind of pushed into. I don't know if it's been pushed or force fed, but she's been appeared in other stuff. I'm I read this. Okay, that's kind of cool. I'm like, that's cool. I know of you. I'm not gonna read your own stories, but you're cool. Like I was very underwhelmed by that trailer too. I'm like,
I know, and I wanted to at least see her powers on display. You know what I mean? Like,
did we see that? We
didn't even get to see her powers.
We just saw that stuff on the like that picture of her like with her like making cosplay version of Carol Danvers costume, which I'm like, okay, really? Right. Yeah, I was very, very not whelmed. I was very underwhelmed. Any other Marvel stuff you want to talk about? Any other Marvel stuff that from this weird Disney Plus day, which I thought was going to be like a live stream, but I guess not. I guess it was just.
Do you know anything about Echo? What that means?
Echo, if I remember correctly, she should have been Daredevil, and if I remember correctly, she's deaf. That's all I remember for her. And I remember she took the Ronin character mantle for a minute. And that's all I really remember from that character. But I know she should have been Daredevil, and I believe she was a Daredevil enemy for a minute. But I believe she's deaf. If there was only a machine that could let us check, Such information, CJ.
If only.
Do you want to talk? Let's see what the machine, if there is such machines exist. Let me see. But what do you know about Echo?
Nothing at all. Just the title. I had seen the things on the internet saying that it probably has something to do with Daredevil, but I don't follow Daredevil enough to know exactly who she is.
So, okay, according to the Wikipedia, she is a adoptive daughter of the Kingpin. She's Native American. She is deaf, like I remember. Her Echo guys include a white handprint that covers most of her face. Maya sent to the Kingpin to prove Matt Murdock's weakness, telling her Matt believes Fisk is a bad person, and that she is the only way to prove him wrong. As Maya believes Fisk, it would not appear to be a lie when she tells Matt. Murdock and Maya soon fall in love. Oh no, Murdock falls with someone? It must be a day that ends in Y. I stole that from Carly. She later takes on Echo guys to hunt down from Daredevil. On her face, she paints a white handprint. Similar to the bloody handprint left by her dying father, Maya proves more than a match for Daredevil. Having watched videos of Daredevil and Bullseye fighting after several failed attempts, noticing that Daredevil can easily move through the dark, Maya easily figures out Daredevil's weakness and exploits this by having a fight in place where Daredevil's items are useless. All right, Maya easily takes down Daredevil and nearly kills the vigilante. Refusing only when she finds out Matt and Daredevil one the same, Matt manages to correct the Kingpin's lies and revenge. Maya confronts and shoots Fisk in the face, blinding Fisk and starting the chain of events that lead to the man's eventual downfall. Kingpin later partially recovers eyesight through the reconstructive eye surgery. And then she became Ronin. For a minute, I'm not going to go to that. So it's a Matt Murdock character. December 1999, so that was just around the Kevin Smith run.
Understood. Well, could be cool. So, I mean, I guess obviously we heard this first. So this is kind of, I'm going to assume that this is the back door for Daredevil into the MCU.
I don't think so, dude. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in that Arachnid movie people keep talking about.
You are, I'm not believing that. I'm not believing that. I will be pleasantly surprised when it happens, should it happen. But
I have
I'm not buying that right now.
I have a gut feeling that tells me it's gonna I hope I'm wrong, because right now I don't want to be underwhelmed or overwhelmed, or I just want to be whelmed. I'm just like, my gut feeling is telling me he's gonna be in that one.
Throwing characters in a movie is such a Sony thing to do, right? So that's why I feel like we're going to get that on the Sony side, right? So like I won't be surprised to see Morbius, Venom, any of all those freaking characters that Sony has been crafting and putting in there. I wouldn't be surprised to see any of those characters.
What was Spider-Man the Black Panther's first appearance? In the
Spider-Man
MCU?
and what? Who?
Black Panther's first appearance. What movie?
Oh, you're talking about Civil War.
Yeah.
But like that's that's why it's different, right? Because like here are those characters. This is a movie that's like, number one, it's the part 3 to an already established heroes movie. It's like the 19th movie in the freaking Marvel freaking stable. Like they're freaking like they're already building something. It's as a part 3 to somebody else's movie is already like
what Captain America movie was Civil War?
What'd you say?
What Captain America movie number was that in Civil War? Captain America, First Avenger, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Captain America, Civil War.
Uh-huh.
That was the third movie in Captain America. Oh, that's really Avengers 2.5.
I'm saying that was like the third Captain America movie. Like there's other Avengers movies that they have built to this, like Avengers 2. This is also a sequel to Avengers 2 as much as it is a Captain America 2. You know what I mean? Like there's all this stuff that is built already to this freaking to Civil War, which makes it different from Spider-Man in my opinion, because Spider-Man 3 I feel like is almost like it's a follow-up to Far From Home, but it's almost like a part one in its own right too. Like it's like this new beginning almost. Like, but we'll see what's going on when it comes out.
Back to the Disney Plus day because we were not back for a minute. And that's how we. That's just a regular CJ and Renee moment you just saw there, people. You might not even see it. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. What else besides? I think we'll go back. It could be that's your reason is more plausible for Daredevil to show up. But anything else? Secret Invasion and Armored Wars. Is that it?
Yeah. Now those were announcements that we got last year though, and we didn't see anything new from Armor Wars. They just brought the title back up again, and we barely saw something new for Secret Invasion. Really, just Nick Fury standing there in some updated makeup, you know,
with the bushy beard,
with a great big bushy beard, and
that's for you,
no
Edgar, right?
patch.
Sorry, no eye patch. Oh, that's right. He didn't have an eye patch, right?
He didn't have an eye patch.
Scroll.
Still messed up eye, but
Mephisto.
right, of course. You know what I mean? Mephisto, because you know E is spelled with I, or I is spelled with an E, and E is also in Mephisto. So you know what I mean. Also, the M is an E sideways. You know what I mean? So you know.
And one more like to add to make it a full M from Nick to Mick.
Right, exactly. But no, I and honestly, like I'm excited for Secret Invasion for multiple reasons. One, because part of me feels like that power broker thing at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier might have something to do with that. If it's not completely wrapped up in Armor Wars, but I feel like it just might. And just given how weird, what is her name? Agent 13, right? Is that her name?
Sharon Carter.
Sharon Carter. Agent 13 is like a mutant, isn't it?
No, I think that is her. I think that's her comic name.
She is actually okay. But so Sharon Carter, just because of the involvement of Sharon Carter and her involvement with Shield, and like that being a weird heel turn, that could mean that she's a Skrull. And Secret Invasion feels like very much a Skrull, a Shield show. So we'll see going forward.
All right, so out of Secret Invasion and all the ones we talked about, those is that you're taking to? That's like the ones you're most excited for coming up.
Oh, what Wolverine 97? I mean Wolverine 96, X-Men 97.
That's right. Say it again. Who say it again? Say it again.
Never. But you just have to rewind. What Wolverine 97? Wolverine 97. Wolverine 97. Wolverine 97. Wolverine 97. Wolverine 97.
I'm gonna replay that in a loop. I'm gonna make that a big loop for one of my stories on social media.
Oh Lord, Wolverine 97. I mean, I would watch that too anyway. I would watch it anyway.
No, I'm excited for
X-97. That would be my most excited.
I'm excited for X-Men 97 and She-Hulk. I'm really excited for She-Hulk because I like that character. I like that actress. I think Tatiana Maslany, I hope I'm saying it right. Like I saw her in Orphan Black and she blew it away in Orphan Black. She's playing like 7 different characters. Like, and at one point they all have a scene together. And I remember just being exhausted for that actress because I'm like, how can you pull off all these characters and have them interact with one another? And you and I went to film school to take a shot. I'm like, you know how tiring it is for actors. You know how tiring it is for the people making the movies. I'm like, dude, I feel tired for everyone just watching that scene when they're all together. So I think she's amazing. I think she's an amazing actress.
Agreed. I'm excited for She-Hulk as well, and more so because of what it means for Hulk moving forward in the MCU. You know, like the fact that he's getting any attention, even though it's through this other character. You know, I don't know. I've always felt like they've treated Hulk weirdly in the universe because of certain rights issues and stuff that they've had. So it's just cool to see. You know, we heard that Tim Roth is coming back in this series. So any sort of inclusion into these characters and really just kind of building the universe out in a way that people can like look and understand, like, because you know there are a lot of MCU fans that are like, well, I guess we don't have to count the Incredible Hulk. You know what I mean? Like they just feel that way because there's really nothing tying it back to that movie. You know,
except for What If, which I'm like, I always felt that. I mean, and Thunderbolt Ross.
And Thunderbolt Ross.
But yeah.
But it's like he never really references that movie. You know what I mean? Like just the fact that he was in it, just him itself. You know what I mean?
This one time I was in a movie.
He doesn't even have lines with Banner. You know what I mean? Like they're in the same movie sometimes.
That's right. You're right.
He
You're
doesn't
right.
have lines with him at all.
You are right, sir. I'm trying to find this actually playing Echo now for some reason. Oh well, she's not on it. Okay, but anyway, yeah. Any final moment? Any final comment? Any final thoughts?
You know, I expected a big Hawkeye kind of blowout, which they kind of did. And when I saw it, I was like, I didn't need to see this. This show comes out in like a week and a half. Like, I didn't need to see this extended scene that I'm probably going to see in the first episode. Like, like I feel a little cheated actually at watching that because of that. I was like, this big scene that's probably amazing. That like, you know, if I saw it for the first time, it's probably going to be in the pilot episode, and I'm going to feel like. Now I gotta wait a whole other week to see something new. You know what I mean?
No, because we're getting 2 episodes week 1.
2 episodes. Okay.
So I mean that's what I read. Internet, please correct us. Yeah, I'm just excited. I can't wait. I'm a Marvel zombie.
Oh, yes. Okay, I forgot to bring that up. Zombies announcement, just the top announcement, but the fact that there are things. Plural spinning out of what if is interesting to me.
I mean, they kind of said it too, though. I mean, I was surprised. I'm like, that's kind of cool. But are they going to be part of the sacred timeline, though?
There is no sacred timeline anymore. It got blew up. They got blown away. You know what I mean? So it's like, is it? You know what I mean? Because what if is by that logic? What if exists? You know what I mean? Because it said so, you know, by the end of it, it said so. There's this multiverse and it exists in the multiverse. So like there, you know, like there is no sacred timeline anymore. But I kind of get what you're saying, but it kind of means at the end of the day that everything is as valid as anything.
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm wondering like if they're gonna reference it in other movies though, like.
Do you really think that beyond Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange into the multiverse that we're really going to dip outside of the universe too often?
I'm trying to think. What else is coming out next? There's Blade, right?
There's Blade, like Quantumania, like
Quantumania. That's a big one right there.
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four does that all the freaking time, dude. Because of Fantastic Four, we got Marvel Zombies, Ultimate Fantastic Four. I have those issues. I have that. So,
but like. What if, as much as I felt like they were going to connect with each other, I have never, and still don't ever feel like What If is going to connect with the main timeline. Like there is nothing that they have shown me that makes me feel like they'll ever connect what If is with proper MCU.
But the way I feel it, from what Loki is, I feel that there is no more timeline. One timeline. I feel like there's the time we're following. But like,
right, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, what used to be the sacred timeline isn't the sacred timeline anymore, but it's still that one timeline. I don't feel like any of this stuff is going to intersect with that.
Okay.
I don't think any of these shows that we know that are outside of that timeline, I don't think any of those shows are ever going to get onto that timeline.
Gotcha. No, they're not gonna do. I mean, they did it with their own shows. Like they never referenced the shows. The shows referenced them, but it was never reciprocated by the sacred timeline.
Unlike WandaVision, unlike Loki, unlike Falcon Winter Soldier, which are directly affecting, you know what I mean, the sacred timeline, the sacred timeline.
No, I'm excited. Like I said, those two, X-Men 97 and She-Hulk, is the one I'm excited for the most. It's electrifying me a little bit. Yeah, I got nothing else. I got nothing else.
Now we didn't get a Captain Carter thing title.
Maybe it's in development. Maybe.
Perhaps. But I'm just thinking of the stuff that we did get that we didn't know about, and then like some of the stuff that we may have gotten hints about earlier, you know what I mean? All these titles that we got, but we didn't get a Captain Carter thing. We got the Agatha Harkness title.
That's right. I'm still surprised she getting her own series. I'm like, she wasn't that cool in my opinion.
And it really makes me wonder. Really, the actress was a lot more charismatic than the character. You know what I mean? Like,
Catherine Hahn
but
is amazing in everything.
it really just makes me wonder, like, what it could even be about. You know,
Right.
it's like, is she gonna be mind controlling this, and this is that's her adventures, or is this like a sort of a history of Agatha? You know what I mean? Like how she got to WandaVision, sort of a thing, like, or like how she learned magic, you know, to begin with. Like, I'm curious as to what an Agatha show even means.
Right. Who knows, CJ? Who knows?
The Shadow knows.
Wrong universe, man. Alrighty. Well, thank you, CJ. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for nerding out with me, like we always do. We'll see you same Frack time, same Frack channel. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Frack off.
Motherfrackers.
All you motherfuckers.